Did that work? Oh, it looks like it worked. Oh, there we are. Yeah. So that looks good. I think we're good. It looks good. Yeah, looks good. Cool. All right, so there. Up you. And then that's good. Cool. Okay, so I'm back again. That's funny. So I gotta figure out. Right. Just before I do any of that, we got this, and I think I've figured out what these artifacts are. So I'm gonna go over here. Where is it? Give voxel. So if I'm correct, just removing that will fix this one and this one, and then this one will be still wrong. And yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's interesting. Where is that even? It's just the, oh, I see. The far end is acting funky. Anyways, so what happened is, like here, I'm like subtracting it or whatever. But then I removed that because I don't want to move the array, but I do want to move those pies so that when it's indexed correctly. And this is not correct. I don't know what was going through my brain there. Return. So then I should also not that. Let me just go like that. And then like this. And do. I could do it here. Pause dot x minus equals chunk size, I believe. Yeah. And then just do it manually. So now that should work. Or not. Integer chunk size is a uint. Uint int. I have to cast. Okay then. I wish I could do it like backwards. But so int. Interesting. Not C style. Oh. So I think it's like this. Okay, funny. Funny. And it looks like I was correct. That there is interesting. It looks like it's reaching. I can't approach it, so I can't really tell. But and then it's gone. So it's just funky. Um, oh, and when you're right next to it, there's an actual wall. It might just be. It's funky though how it exists down there, but not above. I think it's chunk edges though, so it's not that big of a deal. And so then that's that. Okay. Yeah, that's funky. We'll have to make this wider and see if it is only by the edges. Let's hope that it is. Okay, so I think I got all of that working. Um, now with this, I will. Right, I was thinking I could do like a um, X size, do like that. I think. Um, 2, then do like Y size, Z size, 1. So I'm just gonna try to uh, not change the behavior right yet. That should work. Cool. And then what I want to do is, so now I can do math. I want to do this stuff automatically. So every time you have a new chunk of data, you want a new chunk. So every time we're appending here, we're incrementing in Z. So I'm going to do like this. Vox equals, so we're taking the len of voxel data, like -1. Cool. And then here we're going to use CX, CY, ZZ, and then those guys as well. So I could put if statements in here, I think. Oh no, I could use ternary. Okay, so when CX is 0, what was it? So this is back, right? Yeah, so the right side is back, the left side is forward, and then it's X, Y, Z, Z, Z. So when X is 0, then it's none. Well, so, okay, yeah. And then I'll put ternary in for going backwards. Or I could just put the condition here. If cx is greater than 0. All right. Need that. So if it can have it, I don't know. What have I been doing? I don't have it here. Oh, oopsie daisies. Okay, cool. Let's just go like that. Good. I wish you could like combine these into one for loop. There should be a way to do that. If there isn't yet, one should be made. I feel like I'm not going to find anything. And it's fine. So if cx is greater than 0, it's always going to be on that side of things. So if it's greater than 0, then chunk data there's no. I'm just going to pop in here. Look. It's a slice of. How do I do it? It's like ampersand. I forget what it was called too, so it's hard to look up. Parametric polymorphism, parapoly. It's with a $sign. $T. Oh, dynamic array. Return. The tabs are off in this file. I don't know why. So I'm going to return then oh, like that, I think. Yeah. When do I do pointer? Yeah. Yeah, because Odin's not annoying with pointers like C is. So then I could just do last. That'll make that easy. And it follows the behavior there. So the last chunk that we just made there. So if it's greater than C, X is greater than 0. That means that there's one before it that it can do. So, oh, and then there's math. All right. Dot neighbors. So back is that one. 0, 1 equals, and then the math. I'm gonna do int cx minus 1 plus, plus cy times x size plus cz times x size times y size. I believe that's the equation. So the value there is int, and then chunk data int len chunk data minus 1. I believe that's right. Oh, I have to like manually almost. I can. No, I have to do it manually. All right. U or Y. Yeah, I definitely have to do this manually. And so I do that. Oh, but it's not that complicated. 1, 2, 3, 5. I believe. Cool. I believe that's all correct. So then if I did everything correct, there should be no difference. 45. What? Your pointer. 30? Oh, right, it disappears. Okay, expected type. Okay. This is one thing that Odin is kind of annoying with. But I can kind of understand. Where am I? Over here. So I gotta turn U into, what is it? U32? Is that all of this? Oh, that's... Ah. Neighbors. Ah, okay. 0, 2, that makes sense. And 4. All right. So now that I've done that, I got to cast these guys, so U32 like that, and then would I be able to just do that? No, I think it'll ask me to cast it. Okay, alright, U32. Right, and that'll also not work. And then U32. That'll also not work. Okay. I believe that should work. Alright then. Yes, I was wondering about that. Cool. In other words, I did it wrong. It started looking correct. Huh. So visual artifact for. Oh, I think I know what that is actually. I'm reaching the render limit or whatever, but it reaches it faster when you're closer to geometry because you're taking shorter steps. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm encountering some mistake with my calculations here. So let's see. That's weird. Let's calculate them. So when CX is, so the first one that'll come through is CZ, because that's the first one to iterate, and that'll, right, and we won't see anything in CY. That makes sense because, all right, so when CY is 1, CZ, CZ minus 1 is 0, and all of these are 0. Cool. And then that should just work. So that explains why the first two work. Because this would be the same scenario. Now when CX and CZ are both 1, CX minus 1 is 0, but CZ times 2 is 2, 0, 2, and yeah, that's correct, isn't it? The last one, 1 is 2. So this is when it goes through like this, yeah. Oh, hold up. So when Z is 1, but everything else is zeros, you will be 2. No, you will all be 0. That sounds about right. Actually, yeah. And then 4, 5 is 0. And 4 of you is now 1, correct? Okay. And then you are 0. And that's 1 of this one is 0, cool. And 0 of 0 is 2. Because the last one added there would be 2. I believe so. And then we get to 3. This is when they are both 1, so U will run. We have U are 0, but U are 1. Two. And that is 1 for the last one. It's 2, okay. Okay. In other words, this is incorrect. Oh, I think it probably is somehow. Well, I'm not accounting for z size in this, so no, I wouldn't, though. This seems right. I think it was just a guess. What do I want to happen, though? The value here for cx should be, for x, should be 1, which becomes 3, which would be, is it like flipped around? I can try that just as a guess, and then so I do. Alright, yeah. Do z. Oh, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, cx, cx, cx. Ah, okay, it looks good. And then I'm gonna make this 2. Make sure everything is good, fine and dandy. It looks good. Okay, and then let's just make these 4. It's so bright. Oh, if that's the case, wouldn't I get... No, it's distance is what that value is. And, oh, we're seeing some of the wave. So I guess it was flipped around. I don't have a good intuition for that, but that's all right. Cool. So now we can see, I'm also going to speed it up. Um, um, equates to see how this feels. You're already quite fast. Okay. You're already quite fast. And that is faster. Cool. So that way I can get around quickly. That's good. Now that I have that, right. Um, I'm just going to start. World dot odin. I want to take all of this. Let's pull that to do struct called world struct. Within it, we will have so we'll have that. I did that the wrong way around, but I'll change that quickly. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's good. And then we'll do world init is proc. Probably take some inputs, but not right now. Pop you. That's good. That's all right. Now over here, right? Okay. So voxel type, voxel data will be world dot voxel data, and chunk data will be world dot chunk data. Okay. And now in game init, I believe game init happens after render init. To a capture cursor, input init. I think I should do this. I think that's fine. Because the world needs to be generated first, but this belongs in here. Um, I think that's fine. All right. So then, yeah, and here we'll do world init. Cool. And then that should work just the same. Expected a comma in world 9. Right. Cool. Good job, me. And then, yeah, right. I forgot about this. All right. Best thing. Set. Okay. World dot world dot none. Oh, right. None is also defined in here. Which I'll put up here like this. All right, chunk size. I'm not using that anywhere else in here. All right. Now I need all right, world init. Destroy. Yeah, it works. All right. World destroy. Right. Proc. Then here we have this. Okay, that's what I was wondering. All right. It belongs in here, but I can move it into render for now. Or no, I'll move it here. I'll move it like that. Cool. Whoa. Oh, that's because the values are so large. Whoa, that's funny. Thank you. That's really funny. I said it's because the value is so high, but it's just over here. And I can keep going. So I think this is some other data. Oh, no, it's over here as well. It's just not over. So weird. All right, whatever. Yeah. Okay. It's not over there. Yeah, like I was saying before, when you get close to it, it starts behaving like an actual wall. Oh, that's weird. Now that's concerning. And within the chunk, okay, so there's a couple funky things still going on. It's at this far wall, the last chunk on the end, so it's positive Z. There's a difference when I go between the large chunks. So, well, I think that's all right. Merge. Let's see. Okay, voxel Y. Everything should be the same. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that as is. All right, cool. Then the other thing that I wanted to do is I want to put different kind of data in here. So I want to put in an octree so that I can haphazardly, in any direction, generate chunks rather than relying on the indices, which are not expected to behave in an orderly fashion like this. It's supposed to go around in a circle, that's why I need an octree. And I also want two different versions of these things. One for the GPU and one for doing things on the CPU. All right, but that's I'm gonna do this. Cool. All right. I don't want that. Don't want that. Don't need that. Cool. I could keep this test equation here. That's fine. We'll need a global coordinate system for it. I could get into Perlin noise, which is the word that I kept forgetting last time. Perlin noise. I could just put Perlin noise right there if I wanted. But I don't think I need to. Not yet. But both this and that would require a global coordinate system, which I don't intend to keep. That's fine for now. Oh, I'm leaking data. I didn't notice that. It's all super bright. Yeah, we are seeing some of those artifacts. I think that goes away if I just where is it? Yeah, this value, if I make that value larger. Yeah. I'll just do that. That's interesting. You can see the chunk boundary. So, is this still? No. We've entered other territory and we're seeing more chunk boundaries? Where are we? But I'm pretty sure that's out of bounds right there. But this is continue. Then it feels like it's not. It looks like it goes up to there. And then I approach it. Yeah, I think that is where it is. But then what is this? Whoa, that's kind of cool. And that's a problem. I was gonna leave it. It makes me unhappy. Okay, I don't know what's going on anymore. So it's not just the chunk boundary. There's like a whole region right there. Okay, I gotta figure out oh, because this is not getting called. 38. That's interesting. So that is pretty much what I was thinking, that the voxels would be much more than the chunks. If I'm visualizing over here, I can destroy it over here. That's fine. Let's see what over here. It doesn't matter though. Okay. So now I shouldn't be leaking. Cool. Everything looks fine over here. And it suddenly appears. So it's not far enough away. It starts becoming a small region of 0 values. I don't want to print out all of the data. That sounds like a not very fun exercise. Let's see. So I think it probably has to do with up here. I could test it real quick. And no, it does not have to do with that, but there is, so I can't see where the boundary is, just black suddenly. Yeah. So I can look through it. It's like invisible, but then when I stand there, suddenly I can't see. It's unfortunate. But I can see those. I think it like gets thicker. Yeah, it's definitely getting thicker with each chunk, and then you can see the boundary of the chunks as you get further that way. Okay, so there's something going on here. It's not those. What is going on? It's when the values get large enough, the chunk ID. Oh, okay, that's a thing that I should probably do first is I could do in game update or camera update. I'll do in camera update. I don't know where it belongs. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, so yeah. Uh, if maybe in world, if it starts depending on things in world that no camera, I don't know. I could probably keep camera small and then have like a player. Oh, a player one would make sense. Or I could rename this to player. Whatever, I'll just do it here. If cam dot pause x is greater than chunk size doing this. Chunk size while cam no, I don't. While is dumb. It could be done over multiple frames if it needs to. So if it's greater than chunk size, oh, I was gonna do. Okay, so before I get into that, I first want to figure out. I'm gonna make a world update and make sure I can stream. Stream changes to it. So I'm going to iterate through the chunks and use the ID to figure out the chunk chords. And then I'll iterate through this and I'll add like a time value or something. Iterate through the voxels, not the chunks. That makes sense. Yeah, and then it'll be the same behavior as with chunks for the voxels. Okay, so voxel data for v, I in voxel data. I believe that's correct. Then I'll do this like that, and probably ampersand, I think. Anyways, so v is what I'm modifying. I gotta figure out dx I. How do you do that then? Let's do like that then. Oh right, it's like modulo and stuff like that. So I think it's easy. It's easy is this way. It's the internet. I just like define it this way, even though because yeah, but because CZ is the inner loop, it's the smallest. So let's do CZ. So I divide by or I modulo. Yeah, I modulo by Z size. There we are. Y would be closest, so I divide by Z size and then modulo by Y size. And then CX is like I divide by Z size and Y size, like that, I think. Yeah, I think so. That should work. Plus 5. Yeah, okay, so in here I do plus delta time. All right. I'm gonna do it that way just because plus 1 time. Okay. Then this should compile. Okay, runtime T. Okay, so voxel data. Worlds dot. Okay. So that works. It doesn't change anything. But then in render update, I want to copy these guys. Voxels. Yeah, E32. But instead of that, load shader buffer. We're doing buffer data. I think it's just this. I could look it up. I'm just gonna try it. See what happens. Actually here. So doing that, this will have no, it's probably not GeoBuffer data. All right. Yeah, let's see. Lizard turns earlier. Did I already remove them? Yeah. This be a tutorial. Let's see. All right. All right. Um. Um. Okay. I think. uh. Yeah. So this is a complicated bit. I think what I want to do is make a new buffer. No, we can use this. Kinda. I think we're just copying data over. So I think what I want to do is create a new buffer. I think it will become too complicated, and I'm not exactly sure of how the best way to do anything else is, so we'll probably just be copying over bunches of data to the GPU every time. All right. So what do I do? I think I need then to figure out when that buffer is done or when the next update. Screen shader. Draw arrays. I gotta like wait to syncing things just to make sure, but I don't know how um I could just ignore this for now. Like I don't know. Um yeah, let's just pretend everything's fine for the moment. And just do this. Okay. Uh, yeah, let's pretend everything's fine because I'm gonna have to free them. Before I. Oh, but I don't even. I haven't unload shader buffer. Okay. SSBO. Let's go back to. With the same binding index. All right. Again, if I don't do sync stuff, it's going to cause problems. But let's just pretend everything is fine. Just for the moment here. Can keep that. Oh, but you have to be the last one. So let's do that. Now here. All right. And on the end, I'm going to put voxels and chunks. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Mostly care about voxels right now because voxels aren't being updated. Cool. So let's just put you in game update. Yeah. World update. Let's see. Oh, that's trippy. That's quite trippy. Yep. It is doing exactly what I wanted to. It is very trippy. I feel like I'm moving when I'm not. But if I keep my eye on this wall, still feels like I'm moving because the walls also move. Funny. But this works. I still think there's problems with this approach, but it works. Okay, so I'm also going to create a chunk ID. Make that 0. This is good for now, but it's like, so at the end of world, I want chunk ID to be 0 again. And no, not that, my bad. So in camera, I can do pause.x. I think there's problems with this, but it's not showing me anything. It's behaving fine, so I'll just pretend everything is fine. Okay. So if the pause is greater than chunk size, then I want to, we'll check for the next one. So worlds dot chunk data chunk ID. Okay. So chunk ID equals, or sorry, let me do C is dot neighbors. And again, it's, I can keep it in my head now, it should be 0. So positive X. If all of a sudden I need this, cool. If C equals none, then cam dot pause dot x minus equals cam dot pause, again because it can go over multiple frames. Oh, actually no, it shouldn't matter anyways. because if you are none, then I'm just gonna snap you to alignment equals chunk size. Do you have to be equal to or greater than, or greater than or equal to? Bogvan. Uh, Greater than or equal to, yes. So minus one. Else. So you have else. Chunk ID equals C. Cool. And else if, yeah, I am using, this is what I'm familiar with, that's fine. Ham pause at x is less than 0, and x can be 0, I believe. Yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. Cool. So if x is less than 0, then I do, let's pull these in. U are 1, if c equals none, x equals 0. That's correct. That's all good. Cool. And then okay, let's do, that was pretty straightforward. Cool. Cool. My brain did brain things. Should be fine. Oh, but then the numbers don't line up. So, well, yeah, I just add 2 to each. Series 2, 3, your 4, your 5. So I just count up. Cool. Oh, and I forgot cam dot pause dot x minus equals chunk size. Plus equals y plus z z plus. Cool. So now, okay. Okay. Okay, so this should have the property of that. That was what I anticipated. Now, in here, I should, this will be fun. All right. And I'm doing both. So I want to flip around. You can stay so I don't get disoriented while testing. both voxel data and chunk data. I'm gonna make them so chaotic. Okay, so I just want to make, so v is world dot voxel data. Oh, and this won't work anyways. So voxel data chunk ID. Cool, and C is world dot chunk data chunk ID. World dot voxel data chunk ID equals world dot voxel data 0 0 v should be good. And then chunk d equals 0. It's gonna be so chaotic, but it should work. Oopa. Something else happened. Okay. That's good. It's a maze. What is happening? I don't know what happened. I'm not relying on it being aligned, except for this stuff. I'm not relying on it being aligned in any other way right now. So if it becomes chaotic, it should be fine. It just marches assuming that chunk ID is 0 when it starts. So when I swap those, oh, right. That's what's happening. I need to fix the neighbors. Ooh, bah. Okay. I'm going to okay, so ooh, that's a lot of thinking. I could do it after that. I have to. Okay, well, I can iterate through them. For I in chunk size? Wait, what am I doing? 6. Cool. So I'm gonna try. Oh, I see. Ha. Okay. All right, cool. So now I want to iterate through and neighbors. Ooh, right, that was the weird equation for finding its opposite. It's just it's either +1 or -1, considering the way I've done it. To find its opposite, so I want to find that neighbor. Okay, and let's do that. N equals that. Ooh, that works. Okay, so world voxel data dot neighbors n. No, sorry. N dot neighbors. So that's I plus. Let's just do I mod 2 equals 0. Mod it equals. I can't think. What is it? Okay, let's look at zero, mod 2, 0. So it has 1. Yes, correct. Cool. All right. Let's just do R is this equation. Okay, so U equals 0, and 0 I equals N. I don't need that. And that should work. That works for one of them. I need to do this again. Referring now to V. Not V. Chunk ID. Now this works almost exactly the same, I think. Chunk. Cool. I think that just works. Listen. Zero. I don't see why that would make a difference. What is this? Did that make a difference? How funny. 9D. Oh, I'm tired. I think that's just correct. Yes. Yeah, so I need to fix neighbors, but you guys are all proper. Cool. Core dumped is out of range. Um, 104. Oh. No? Well, but if I mod 2 is 0, then it's adding 1, which would be 1. All right. And I need, because I didn't grab it earlier. One, 0. In other words, words you're fine. 107. You're fine for one of them. That is correct. Okay. So N is terribly wrong. Do N colon space, comma, R colon space. That this will also be unique just because it doesn't. All right, let's see. 16. Right. I guess I'm not checking if it needs doing. In other words, let me just pop you, and you. After N, I do if n is not equal to none. Cool. I'm going to do the same here. If n is not equal to none, it should work now. I've broken it already. Not going anywhere. So weird. So weird. Oh. Secret space is no longer here. I don't know. Okay. Oh, but that does still, if n, this one, 0, it's a neighbor. You don't want to do that, but you will remain as n. Whoa, hold up. What am I looking at? If, so I get the chunk, that's the index of the neighbor in that direction. Why am I? Oh, I don't need to do that, do I? Because I'm copying it over here anyways. See, it's copied over. So I don't need to do the reverse, but I do need to get that chunk to now point to us. Oh, and that works except for the case of the one that is going to. So in other words, okay, you're fixing you. I want to move you. Okay. So when I move, yes. Chunk ID to 0. Okay. I think what I want to do is this and that. Okay. It's looking good. And now it's not. Oh, weird. Oh, they're all the same, but then you're alternated. I don't know. It's weird, but it's so. I'm breaking the chunks when I do that. Now I've just really broken the chunks. Found the wall. Okay. It's curious to explore. It's like a whole different puzzle. I don't know what's going on. So I stash it away. So 0. So this is what was 0. It's now at chunk ID. I fix all of what's in chunk ID to now point to chunk ID instead of 0. But you still point to them, and that's fine. Then I move what's stashed into 0, and then including what's at chunk ID. What was 0 is now pointing to 0 for the other one. It should work. I don't think I need to do this. I'm just going to make sure I'm not crazy though. It feels good that I'm able to just walk up against the wall now. But yeah, so I'm not crazy. That definitely doesn't solve the problem. I don't need to calculate this. That doesn't work. So I fix the voxels. I mix around the voxels, swap them out. It's fine. Ooh. You know, I don't really need to do that. It doesn't solve the problem. But I just realized that I would need to update for chunk data as well, the changed voxel data. Am I assuming that voxel data and chunk data is... No, I don't think I am, because you're pointing to voxel data. And then, yeah, I look for that in chunk, for the chunk, so that they can be different. Of course, yeah. So I don't need to do that. That it's all about chunk, the chunk ID being 0. Okay, so now we stash away the chunk at chunk ID. I make that one 0. For each of them, excluding the stashed one. So if ooh, and that would mess things up like crazy. I just realized. So for wherever you are pointing to 0, if it's not none and n is not equal to 0. Now I want to do this again at the end, except it's where n equals 0. Yeah, and I don't need to check that because it equals 0. And then I set it to be yes. I believe that is correct. Let's see. Oh, you know, actually, that doesn't really matter because it's copied over first, and then everything that's in 0 is forgotten. But I do need to, after the fact, I'm tired. What am I thinking? The data in chunk data, so everything that's in here, oh, it's not going to equal 0. But in here, yeah, it's not going to equal 0. Wait, if it equals chunk ID is in here. If it equals chunk ID, oh, my brain is tired. Okay, do I have, I do. This might help. I do, so I have a chunk. Can I not control? Weird. Okay. So I have a chunk. I don't know. Just something. I have a chunk there. I'm trying to swap with a chunk here. And this chunk has, it points to that chunk, and you point back. And this is just confusing me more. That's not going to be helpful. But, so I have, I have a chunk data. So one of the neighbors of chunk data is most likely chunk ID. Most likely. And if that neighbor is chunk ID, neighbors I, then it's going to be pointing to itself. And that'll create problems. Chunk ID. Zero. chunk ID pointing to itself, yes, cool. And if it's not chunk ID, then I don't want to change it because, yeah, it's pointing to itself and not to you. Equals, okay. That's what I was seeking out. Let's see if it just fixes. No, it doesn't. It's different. What just happened? Okay. It's different. I want to be able to do this because later on I'll be doing this. Here it's most likely pointing to 0. If n equals chunk ID, then I'm pointing it to 0. Is what? Here there's most likely one pointing to 0. Equals 0. Okay, if you are chunk ID, I don't want to do that. I want to do chunk ID. What is this pointing to now? Chunk ID, what was 0, so yeah, the neighbor, if it is pointing to itself, then I want it to point it to 0 to chunk ID. To what is now 0 to chunk ID. And if you were pointing to 0, doesn't really matter. So now I just want to do chunk ID is equal to 0. This is familiar. All of the neighbors are 0. Or all of the neighbors are the same. This is probably 0. I can get back here again. Oh boy. Oh, that's fun. Anyways. This is a complicated mess. I'll also still be able to do that because the voxels don't need to move. Chunks are pointing to the same voxels still. It's saved. Oh, this doesn't work if it's that, because this will fix up here. Do I have to do this again? No, I'll do else if n equals chunk ID, because I'm doing this anyways, and then I could do C dot neighbors. Work. Ooh. Hey, does that just work? I might be able to remove this, so because that would point to an n will never be 0 down there. That should just work magically, assuming everything is in there correctly, which we're assuming no cosmic rays or anything like that. I figure technology is advanced enough for that. And if everything starts out correctly, and I don't like introduce a bug somewhere, this should be correct. If n equals chunk ID, all right, let's see how that runs. There's a flash. There's a flash, but it works. It works. I don't know what the flash is about. Oh, I think it probably has to do with syncing. It's like my position gets updated and then other stuff. And then, hey, oh, it doesn't feel as good as it did before. Oh, that's just off by 1. Let's go. If it's equal to. All right. because it's floating point, isn't it? Let's just do that, because it should just work, but there. I can hang out. I can still go into this floor because I'm not colliding with that. Ooh, that's fine. And then, yeah, I can go into ceiling. There we are. That'll be better. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm actually a bit away from the wall. Hey, all right. Still feel like I'm a bit away from the wall. That feels better. Can I just like approach? What happens? I'm stopped by it. All right. All right, but then that's funny. It's the far corner. Yeah, I don't know. At least I can run into the wall now. I just can't go into that corner, or probably this corner either. Never mind. Okay. Okay. You know what? That's fine enough. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. So I got this to work well enough. And I think this still works too. Test it. Yeah, it doesn't jumble up the chunks. The voxel data at all. Breathing. All right. How long have I been going? Let's see. Like 2 hours. Cool. I can start doing. I start doing. Oh right, I was gonna do octree stuff. This works well enough though. All right, let's see. Yeah, I did all this like real funky but well, yeah, I'll want to be able to sort them later on for like chunk loading and chunk unloading. So we can just stick like this all randomly assorted from now. The voxel data doesn't matter, but I want it to be more chaotically loaded, so this won't work. I won't be able to get chunk coordinates unless I keep them with the chunk data, which I can do as well. The voxel data. I'll probably end up doing that. That sounds about right. Because then I'll be able to continue doing stuff like that. Let's see. So I'm adding them in. Really don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I should get some different CPU side data. Struct. Now, what do I have? Instead of that, let's do you will also be dynamic. That's fine. I could keep the voxels in here. I don't need to. Okay, so it's an octree, so I will have a potential of 8 children and 1 parent. So parent is U32. Children would be 8 U32. 2 hours. Keep going a little bit more. Ooh, let me do this first. make sure this piles first. Runs perfectly fine. Cool. Cool. Let me just do. That's fine. All right. Now, so there's 8 children, and then I am going to probably keep a separate voxel thing, which will be U32. There'll be more, I think. I don't know. Right, and then from this I will generate these buggers, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And then chunk ID will have a different meaning, since it'll be referring to these chunks, which will be good. Cool. Children. I also want to do neighbors. Yes. So I'll have all of the above. Neighbors 6, 32. Generate all of this. Put mapping in there as well. Yeah. All right. So then in here instead, there's not an easy way to just increment on this. I'm going to have to break current behavior. So I'll keep voxel data in there since it's super simple. No. I'll keep that in there. I have more space on the CPU, so more RAM. We can do more. We'll probably want to union some of these. Yeah, so there's a redundancy. Oh boy. Yeah, so I'm going to break all current functionality. All right, I'm just going to put in C. I'll just do pause is 932. I'll have that. Well, I'll keep current functionality, and I'll just do this as well. No, instead I'm going to do voxel data, voxel type, put into here append. So wait, append world dot chunks. Do I have to? Back. I wish you could just like infer what the type is. I was really hoping that I could just keep the type in here. Let's do chunks type is this chunks type that. All right. Chunks type. And pause equals, so you I want to do, I think I could do like this, so cx cy cz pause parent, it's find children, find neighbors. Do that. And vox. Okay. Oh yeah, everything zero initializes, but I'm using none as my special value. So I'll probably just want to do specify that all of these are none. So parent equals none. I should really not have zero as my special, or this as my special value, but then I would have to subtract one from everything. And that's uncomfy. Because these are indices. So parent, children. There are 8. And that should be good. Now, kind of want to use a union to say that parent, box, neighbors, or children. No, but you still have the parent if you have. This is fine. Right. I need to do octree things. I think I'm just gonna call it a day probably. Because octree things, it's gonna be fun. like create a bunch of helper functions for adding and removing, and then and then I do this, but then I'm gonna need helper functions. That sounds like fun. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a day. How long's it been? Not long after I checked last. All right. Cool.